Welcome to Talk of the Town this week right here on C19 TV. Tim Foster along with you. Hey, happy September to you. It's hard to believe fall's right around the corner.
Wow.
And it is great to have Charlie Cabness, Public Relations with the Cleveland Rutherford Kidney Association. And Charlie, we're going to be talking about the big Paul Porter Memorial Golf Tournament and other things, but welcome to Talk of the Town as always.
Thank you. Good to be with you, my friend.
You're looking good.
Well, I feel fairly well if I get my knee well.
Well, that's right. They're getting you healed up. Folks may be asking viewers that are watching Charlie about the Cleveland Rutherford Kidney Association. Give us quickly a little bit of history about the association.
Well, it was begun back in the 80s, Tim. And Ray and Margaret Ledford, who happens to be the uncle and aunt of my wife, Jean, who's with me today.
Right. Yeah, we saw her. Yeah, it's always good to see Jean.
She won't talk to you, but she will off the camera.
But she gets all the prep done.
Oh yeah. But no, they were going to, and Renee, their daughter, had developed kidney problems. In fact, she had about 4, I believe, translate. They were going to Charlotte. Back then, you had to go to Charlotte or Spartanburg for dialysis.
Yeah.
And they happened to see a van down there, and these people were from Spartanburg, and they told them about that. And Margaret said, well, why can't we get something like that in Shelby? So to hear Ray, the late Ray Ledford, we sure miss him.
Yeah.
But hear him tell it, he said, next thing I knew, at my house, there was a room full of ladies there planning that. And now, as you know, we have dialysis in Kings Mountain,
absolutely,
Shelby, and Bowling Spring, and Forest City.
Yeah, you've got a lot of options where you don't have to go to Charlotte anymore, Greenville, Spartanburg.
The only thing that's changed, Tim, is that I think TAC does a lot of the transportation now because of the COVID thing.
Sure.
Because Michelle Hoyle, who is our executive director at the office, she was, doing that. In fact, I told the story a couple of times I've been here. There's a gentleman that was talking to someone and said, it cost me $20 to go to the dialysis, the taxi.
Yeah.
And somebody said, well, Kidney Association do it for free, and that was back, several years ago.
Right.
And so he made contact with them, and that made him a happy camper.
Yeah.
but that's the thing about our association. Gene and I have been volunteering a long time, but we do a lot of things. We have a food pantry, we have a clothes closet, and for people that have clothes or something, maybe they've lost a spouse or a friend or a family member of some sort, and want to give some clothes away, we welcome that. Yeah. Because we're having not only this golf tournament we're going to talk about, but we're having a yard sale, and that's coming up October the 26th.
Yeah. Well, and I want to talk about that, but let's
go back to the golf tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I want to start with the golf tournament, then we'll talk about the yard sale.
Yeah, let's tee off on this.
Let's tee it off. 44th, yeah, that's right. 44th annual Paul Porter Memorial Golf Tournament, September 18th.
Right,
Charlie.
That's on the Wednesday.
It's going to be at Riverbend. And let's just talk about this. Talk about the format for this event.
Okay, the format is Captain's Choice.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and warn everybody, it won't bother them because I've got the same team, but probably won't win. But we'll be there. We'll be competitive.
Well, you never know.
But I was sharing with you, Tim, before we went on.
Yeah.
I've had the same team for every year, Calvin Hastings, Jim Lowe, and Darrell Ledbetter. And we did win it way back, about 10, 11 years ago.
You got to keep an eye on all 4 of those guys on the golf course, by the way.
And they help me all they can.
Yeah.
And but I can chip and putt a little bit. They have it with a knee problem. They do the tee off, for me. They can rotate the tee shots and all that. But this is the 44th year, you mentioned. And Mr. Porter was a big fan of the Kidney Association. He lost a sister due to kidney disease.
Yeah.
And he also bought the first van for the Cleveland Rutherford Kidney Association. Yes. So he was very close. Of course, we lost him, as you remember.
Right.
But it's a Captain's Choice, as I mentioned, and you can call for a tee time. They're going to accept those from 10 to 1, and I'll go ahead and tell everybody if you want to call. I've already got 11:30.
You've got the 11:30 tee time,
That's
yeah.
covered.
And I'm looking here, 280 per team includes you golf, lunch, and prize. So that includes lunch, right, Charlie?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. And your range balls, and if you want to get there and hit a few, and another thing that I forgot to mention last year, Tim.
Sure.
That's you can buy a whole sponsorship for $100.
Okay.
Now the reason I mentioned that, the association gets all of that money.
That's awesome.
And of course, Phil has to take out money for the golf, you know,
Sure,
and all that.
sure.
And I don't have much, but this is one of our better fundraisers
Yeah.
that we have each year, and one we really look forward to. And
Well, I mean, 44 years. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
people play, and I know you get a big number of groups every year.
oh, we hope to have 18, 20 teams at least.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And some of these guys come back and play every year, and then we've got. I'll be on the phone. In fact, I've already been calling some. Got some teams already lined up, and I'll be calling some more.
Yes.
And the guys are, you know, they very seldom turn us down.
Sure.
You know, because they realize what a good, you know, association is and what it does, and there's so
Absolutely.
many people as Steve had mentioned one time before, said this is a well-kept secret in Cleveland County.
Well, it really is, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much you guys do for individuals. And I just think about Charlie, you know, what you do as far as you know, helping folks get to appointments.
Right.
I think a lot of people, because sometimes you're taking trips, as you said, for dialysis appointments.
Right.
And that is so crucial for somebody that's dealing with that, Charlie.
Well, it's a have-to thing.
It is.
They got to have it.
Absolutely.
But so we, you know, we're there to help, and we really need some more volunteers, Tim.
Okay.
It doesn't require a lot of time. We have a meeting every month or so, one night, and but for the golf tournament, we'll have volunteers there. This year, I think they're going to do again hamburgers and hot dogs and all that for the lunch, and
That's awesome.
all the trimmings,
Yeah.
as they say.
There's
And-
nothing like that, rather than playing a little golf.
And
yeah.
people like me, I usually bake my cake and take it over there, and some of them, Gene will fix some brownies, and others will bring stuff in.
You're making me
for
hungry,
snacks.
Charlie.
I know
Yeah.
it. I am.
Yeah.
We got to hurry and get this
Yeah,
done.
it's
But really, when they make the turn, they can come
Yeah.
in and get a snack and everything. But the lunch is served around 12 o'clock, and the guys, it's really good to see these same fellas, you know,
Yeah.
every year, and a lot of them, as I said a while ago, some of them I played softball against.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, through the
you know,
years, yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been around a while, you
Yeah,
know.
well, that's right. Well, that's good. So, 44th annual Paul Porter Golf Tournament to help the Cleveland Rutherford Kidney Association. Now let's talk, because we've got about 4 minutes left. Let's talk about the yard sale.
Okay.
Charlie, let's head on into the fall in October. Tell us a little bit about the yard sale.
Okay, October 26th, that's on a Saturday, a yard sale, and they just bring everything out. We have a place they hang clothes and all.
And where's the location
it's at
for this?
1017 North Washington
Okay.
at our office.
Okay.
There, so we want to mention that, of course, and then December the 7th we get together and we feed the patients.
That's awesome.
And we started doing a drive-through thing, drive-by. We were already meeting, you know, at Shelby Mission Camp,
Sure.
but since COVID came along, you know, had to make some changes, and this is just one of the changes. And that's on December the 7th. That's on a Saturday, and the food is prepared, and family members just drive by and they give them the food and everything.
Sure.
And then the things that we can use for the food pantry, I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, please let us know.
We can use paper goods, canned goods, personal products, you know, and need plenty of paper products, you know, paper towels, toilet paper, and all that kind
Sure,
of thing.
sure.
But then getting into the next year, Travis Powell will be there at the foundation at Isothermal College. And am I allowed to say that at CCC?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We know a lot of people over there. We like those folks over there too.
But that'll be on January the 11th, and is a tribute to Elvis and all.
Yeah.
But
So a lot of great events coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Right through the fall into
Yeah.
2025.
right, and we've
Yeah.
already had some. The CCIB, Cleveland County Independent Bikers.
Yes.
They have a poker run every year.
Yes,
Tim.
I've
and
seen that.
it's one of our better fundraisers.
Yeah.
They do a tremendous job, and we try to honor them, you know, and fix the meals, you know, for them sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. Just the name Paul Porter, you know,
Yeah.
it makes it special.
And let me get back to the golf tournament as we're winding down here, Charlie. But again, if folks, they just need to call to set up
tee
their tee times.
Right.
And then again, talk about these whole sponsors and the importance of that again, Charlie.
Yeah,
for the event.
That's a good thing. All contributions are tax deductible.
Okay.
And I surprised James the last 2 years. I put one in honor of her.
Awesome.
And usually we get about 80 or 90.
Yeah.
And that's, as I mentioned earlier, that's clear money, you know.
Yeah, and all that goes to the
all
Cleveland
of it
Rutherford
goes
Kidney
to
Association.
Association, right?
Yeah.
And all they got to do is call Michelle, and sometimes if she's out on an errand or something, she'll be happy to return the call. Did you get the number up on the
Yeah,
screen
yeah,
yet?
we've got it up there 481-9535 right now.
Right,
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah,
got it.
and that's the number to call for that. And I got to mention too, River Bend. That's a great golf course to have your
Oh
event.
man, I tell you,
Isn't that a nice
love
golf
it.
course?
Yeah, we live 3 miles from it.
Yeah, I bet you really like it there. Yeah, I have a feeling you may play other parts of the year as well.
Yeah, well, I hope to, but
Yeah.
call Phil or the group there. I called yesterday, 704-482-4286, and tell them you want to make tee time for the Paul Porter golf tournament.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
It's going to be here before you know it.
September 18th. Yeah, we're in September now. And Charlie, I just want to thank you for what you guys do for the Cleveland Rutherford Kidney Association. Again, I don't think people realize, and as you mentioned, Steve Putnam's mentioned as host on this show before, it really is a hidden gem. And what you do to get folks to appointments is just because as you said, this is not something that occasionally, this is something you've got to have as a patient.
Right, exactly right.
So
yeah.
Charlie,
Yeah, man, it's good to see you.
it's so good to see you. Hey, we'll see you on the golf course.
Yeah,
and at the yard sale, and we just appreciate what you do, and go out and support this great event, right?
all right, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, Charlie.
thank you, buddy.
All right,
Okay.
we're going to take a quick break, and stay tuned because we've got more Talk of the Town right after this.
She gets her hair from her mom, her eyes from her dad, and her drugs from her home medicine cabinet. Fact: more people die from drug overdoses than from car crashes or gun violence. And over 50% of those deaths are from prescription drugs. Prescription drug abuse is preventable. 1. Secure and take regular inventory of our medications. 2. Dispose of unused or expired medications. 3. Share this message with others. Be aware, don't share, lock your meds.
Chef Paul Prudhomme once said, "You don't need a silver fork to eat good food." Well, on Cleveland County Kitchen, we don't have a silver fork, but we sure do serve up lots of good food. Hi, I'm Deborah Blanton. I hope you'll join me for the next Cleveland County Kitchen. Each month, we offer a complete farm-to-table experience. We visit local growers, we learn about nutrition, and wrap things up with wonderful meals prepared by our guest chefs. It's a lot of fun. I hope you'll join me for the next Cleveland County Kitchen.
For many kids, just showing up to school is a challenge. Staying through graduation is even harder. So at communities and schools, we do just what our name says. Our staff brings a community of resources to meet each student's needs right in their school, doing whatever it takes to keep kids focused so they see what we see, a bright future. Join in at communitiesinschools.org.
The only prediction I'd make is I'd be pretty willing to bet I won't be doing it in 20 more years.
My question is, where's our residual checks?
144 have taken Republican ballots, and Wes and 2 others have taken Libertarian ballots.
Pravda, however, PBS, however.
Wes.
No, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome back to Talk of the Town right here on C19 TV. Great to have you along. We're in September, as we mentioned, and it's always great to have you. And great to have Jamie Henderson, who is the Work-Based Learning Coordinator right here at Cleveland Community College. She's been with us before. Jamie, welcome back.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me.
So great to have you, Jamie. And of course, I know you're staying busy. We're in the fall semester now here at Cleveland Community College, and folks may be saying work-based learning. They may be thinking, well, what's work-based learning, internships? But Cleveland Community College and our work-based learning program is really good. Talk about, for a student that is in any curriculum here at the college, what does work-based learning look like, Jamie?
So for work-based learning for students, it is actually worked into many of the curriculum programs here, where students can earn credit towards their degree for actually getting some on-hands work out in the field.
So actually hands-on training.
Yes.
While you're in school.
Yes, absolutely. For some students, they may already be working in their field, and so we work with their supervisor to come up with some objectives for the semester so that they can get upskilled in the position that they're already in. Some students may be working in the field but not in the certain area that they're going to school for. And so we work with the supervisor to get them some hours in the other departments so that they could get some hands-on experience in the other departments.
Sure.
And then for some students, they've not been out in the field.
Right.
And
it's a new experience.
yeah, exactly. And so I work with those students to, we get a resume together and we apply for positions or reach out to our partners, our industry partners, and find a position for them so that they can complete the number of hours that's required for their course.
I think our workforce development in Cleveland County is phenomenal, and I think it's really phenomenal at Cleveland Community College. Folks that have been in the, of course, Tim Moore facility, and really all over our wonderful campus here in Cleveland Community College. Those aspects are so important. And it really starts, you mentioned the word, and something that's so crucial, resume. Talk about, a lot of times people, even for me and you, Jamie, you know, a resume, a lot of people think of a resume where you do it 1 or 2 times, but that's not really the case. You're always changing your resume for somebody that you work with student-wise that has not ever worked on a resume. Talk about the importance of a resume, Jamie, for that potential employee that will be headed to that employer.
Right. So the employers see tons and tons of resumes these days, especially with services like your Monster Jobs and things where people can apply. So it is important for your resume to stick out, and for you to highlight the skills that are needed for that specific job. So not just having one resume, but changing that resume to each position that you are applying for to make sure that your skills match the skills that's in the job description. And having an old resume or a resume with errors or not staying up to date with what the industry is actually looking for will not help in getting that position there.
No, I've heard that employers a lot of times they may look at a resume 30 seconds.
Absolutely,
it's got to
you're
stand
right.
out, just like you said, correct?
And some companies use, they use machine to do. They use AI to look at those. So. You certainly have to keep it updated and have those key terms in there that's going to actually get yours, land that interview for you.
Yeah, no doubt. So for the students here at Cleveland Community College, the work-based learning internship aspect, we're in the fall semester, but I know you were working with some students in the summer.
Yes.
And you've worked with them obviously in our spring semester. Talk about the summer. Obviously in the summer, not everybody's taking classes. Some may be taking online classes here. Some may not be taking any classes. So they've got more hours. How is that a little bit different in the summer?
So the good thing about work-based learning, it is offered in the spring, the summer, and the fall. So you can take that course and earn those credit hours in any semester. But with the summer, with not having as many in-person classes, it does free up the students' time where they can actually spend more time out in the field. Because some students are required to get the 320 hours. And that can be difficult if you have a full schedule where you're coming into class.
And talk about, and you heard Jamie didn't, somebody might have said, what did she say, 32 hours? No, no, it's talk about the hours that you have to get that.
Right, so to earn 2 credits, a student is required to get 320 hours.
Okay.
And then some of our programs have it broken up where they can earn the 1 credit, and it's going to be 160 hours, so it's just half those hours. And then some students will have the opportunity to complete multiple semesters of the work-based learning class.
And that's really good as well. Now, one thing a lot of folks may be thinking about with internships, some are paid, some are unpaid. How does that work with our students, and does it really depend on the company or the employer?
Yeah, you're right. So some are paid and some are not paid. For some that have taken my course and have taken the opportunity, even though it wasn't paid,
Yeah.
it has proven to be a really, really good choice. So I have a particular student now that took a unpaid position. That student was offered a paid position by one company and an unpaid position by another at the same time. So,
Wow,
so
really?
we had set her up. She had 2 different interviews at 2 different companies, and they both offered her a position. But after weighing her options and realizing that she really wanted to be in the other industry and go that route with her career, she took the unpaid, and by the end of the semester, that company had reworked their budget for the new year, hired her on as a full-time employee, and she has since then gotten another promotion. So it's really good to see
So
all that come
she's-
to fruition.
yeah.
Yeah. So even though some are not paid, it is still a really good experience because again, it's the experience that you're going to get to add to that resume. So that's more information that you can add,
Yeah.
to the resume, so that you'll, be more employable to other companies. We do, sometimes we get our hands on some grants that are available where we can actually help with compensating the student for getting out in the field and getting work done. And then we've also partnered with NC Works with their program to allow them to help with payment for internships too.
Yeah, and those are really great resources to be
Yes.
able to add to it. So talk about, for you as a work-based learning coordinator, what's it like when you have somebody come in a little bit green, and I say green, a little inexperienced. You work on that resume to see them go from that point to really have success with an employer, end up finishing that work-based learning experience. I know that's great for you to see. What's that like?
Well, I will be honest with you. When they go for their interviews, it's like I'm going for the interview.
I bet it. Me and you've talked about that before. Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear back. It's almost like I want to go with. I just want to be a fly on the wall and just see how it goes. So, and then when they actually get the position, it's like I got, the position.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding.
Yeah.
I would say that this is probably one of the most rewarding positions I've ever had. And, I really enjoy getting to see that.
Yeah, and you're doing a phenomenal job in that as well. And speaking of that, do you get to go on site from time to time to do talk about the on site, because I know we've had some in broadcasting through the years, and we've had folks with C19 that have interned through many years, and I know previous coordinators have spoken with, but it's kind of neat because you kind of get to go on site and talk to them. I know you're talking to the employer ahead of time, but then as that student is actually working, talk about the on site and what that is like for you, Jamie.
It's one of the best parts.
Yeah.
So I was actually on site this morning,
Okay.
with one of our employee partners. We have a student that's placed there, and that student already was working with the company, but that student is completing a business degree and looking to advance within the company. So I got to go out today, and we worked on some objectives that student's going to be completing by the end of this semester. The good part is I get to go out to all different kind of industries. So
Sure.
whether it's at Cleveland County Schools or even at a plumbing or HVAC company, I get to go out to data centers.
I figured there's quite a few data centers you go out to.
Yes, certainly. I get to visit several data centers in the area, and a lot of people don't even know they're here.
Yeah.
So I've got to see a lot of plants, our larger manufacturing industries here, and it's been a good experience for myself. So I really enjoy getting out and getting to see the student and the supervisor there on site and working with them both. And at the end, the supervisor does an evaluation, and just seeing that positive feedback is not only good for the student there for the class, but sometimes when you're working in the industry, there's not always time for that feedback until it's time for a review. So having that worked into there, that student gets the opportunity to get feedback other than when it's review time for the year.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned the word objectives, and we're winding down here. Just got a couple minutes left, Jamie. But I know one of the things that a student has to do with you and the employer is to list maybe 2 or 3 objectives that they plan to do. And talk a little bit about this, because these are, I guess, kind of a goal that you would have for them during that time of their employment there. Talk about the objectives and the importance of that.
So, and these objectives can be determined by the supervisor. The student and the supervisor work together. Maybe it's an upcoming project that they're going to be working on, or maybe the student doesn't have the skills in Excel spreadsheets, and so the supervisor would like for them to work on setting up some spreadsheets and documentation by using spreadsheets, and doing the profit and loss statements, or even creating budgets for the next year, getting experience in those areas. And that's so they get to decide what those objectives are, and then at the end of the semester they get to grade them on how they did on those objectives.
Yeah, like about percentage based, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've seen some grading that you've done in the past as we've had interns with you.
We have,
Yes.
yeah, and that's very neat, and it's fun to watch, and it's always fun to me to see that student that goes from, being so nervous to actually producing a show like Talk of the Town that's been that's going on right now. If folks want to get in touch with you, I know they can. I think we've got your phone number. They can just call you and kind of talk a little bit more about it, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's
it's on the
for
screen.
and that's for students or industries that are looking to host interns. If you're interested in having some of our students come out and intern with you, then certainly we want to partner with you to get drive student success.
Yeah. And do you have students that start out as interns with employers and eventually get hired? Talk a little bit about that as we wind down, Jamie.
Yeah, so that's ultimately the goal.
Yeah. It doesn't always happen, but it can happen.
I was out at a visit last week, and the student had been continuously talking about what a great experience has been and how much he had learned, and I go out to the visit, and they're like, "We want to hire him. Is he done with school yet?
Really?
We want to hire him." So, and that is the thing too, is sometimes, they want to hire him right then, but, we do ask that, we want them to complete their program while they're here too. So he does have a couple more semesters that wouldn't allow that. So we're going to work to see about how we can keep him on as an intern until he finishes his classes here.
And we talked about resumes, but I got to give you 1 minute because this is such a crucial thing. Talk about soft skills.
I knew that
you
was
knew
going to come
I
up.
was saying this is
Yes.
this turned into a class with Jamie a little bit, but it is so crucial because I see this. I've talked about this with my daughter, who's 21, and I talk about it with my students so many times. Talk about the importance of soft skills.
Yes, so not just your technical skills that you're learning here, but the soft skills are really important. And we have seen that is a huge request from our local businesses and industries as we've had advisory committees here. We need an uptick in those soft skills. So as a college, we are bringing those soft skills lessons into the classroom now. So we've already been in classes this past week, the first of the semester, and talked about the importance of soft skills. Just walking up and, how's your handshake and your eye contact.
Are you on time?
Yes, time management. So, and we've got planners that we're giving out at the college, so that students can work and make sure that they're, that we're setting them up for success when it comes to time management. And then recently we have developed a new club here that's going to be the Workforce Development Club, and their focus is going to be on getting lessons out for those soft skills as well.
I think it's awesome. You're doing a phenomenal job. Jamie Henderson, Work-Based Learning Coordinator here at Cleveland Community College. Give her a call if you have questions, and Jamie, have a great fall semester as you're working with the interns.
Yes, thank you.
And thanks for being on Talk of the Town.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
Hey, if you've got story ideas, you see it on your screen, you can email us info@c19.tv, and there's Jamie's information there, but you can email us info@c19.tv. There it is for future show ideas. I've been Tim Foster for Talk of the Town, and we'll see you again next week.